There are so many tools that exist for garment making that you may or may not know about. Here are some useful sewing tools that could help make your life a little bit easier. So today we'll be talking about useful sewing tools to add to your collection. So please sit tight, grab a bottle of water as we go right into this. Hi my loves, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Simbiat and I make beginner sewing tutorial on this channel, and I also share some business tip and some lifestyle videos. So if that seems like something you're interested in, please click on the subscribe button and subscribe to me. So today I'm going to be sharing some sewing tools you need to add to your collections in 2023. So this is more like an upgrade video. So I have a video already on my channel that talked about sewing tools you need as a beginner in sewing. If you like to check that out, so I'll leave so today I'm going to be please pardon me looking down. I jotted down some stuff down here in my notepad, so I'm just going to use that as a guideline to what. So useful sewing tools to add to your collection as a fashion designer, as a tailor, is a number one is the loop turner. As tailors and fashion designer, one way or the other, we've all come across making a dress that has a rope or a loop. So and I can imagine, because I also make clothes too, I'm a tailor, so I can imagine the stress we go through in trying to turn the loops inside out. The stress is too much. So a loop turner will make our life easier, so I would advise to get a loop turner to make things easier for you. So the second tool you need to add to your collection is a bodkin. Is more like a loop turner also, but it's not a loop turner, it's just similar. So a bodkin, when we are trying to turn, let's say our elastic casing, when you want to use an elastic band on your fabric, instead of using a safety pin, as all of us are guilty of, I'm very sure of that, make use of safety pin. So you can just upgrade to making use of a bodkin instead of using a safety pin. Your safety pin at times gets stuck inside the cloth and you struggle with bringing it out. So when you get a bodkin just goes through the casing, it goes through it straight, so you don't really have to like go through that stress. So get yourself a bodkin today. Number three tools you need to add to your collection is thread snips. So this thread snips, a lot of us have it, but we don't know we have it. Probably we don't know the English name, because I also didn't know the English name. I went through some research before I actually discovered, oh, so this is what we call a thread snips. So when your sewing machine newly, it comes with a case, one golden case like this. So inside that casing we have a lot of tools and instruments in it. So I'm going to attach the image on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So there is one tiny stuff, not so tiny sha, it looks like a scissors. I actually thought it's a scissors, but it's not a scissors. I have like two of it because I've had two sewing machines, so I have two of it, and I didn't really know the usefulness of it. When you are sewing your clothes, when you are sewing a cloth and then you need to quickly trim off some thread off the cloth, or you need to like snip the thread away from the sewing machine while sewing, so you could just use that thread snips. So that's what it's actually made for. So now you know, so make use of your thread snips today. So the number fourth sewing tool you need to add to your collection is tweezers. So tweezers, these are really helpful when you are threading machines and you can't reach certain areas with your hand, specifically when threading an overlocker. So this is actually most of us who have a industrial sewing machine, yes, you guys have this, we call tweezers. And those of us who have overlocking machine, so tweezer is more like an instrument used to like pass threads through the industrial sewing machine or your overlocker, because it has many eyes and holes where you need to like pass threads through. So the tweezers actually help to make things easy for you, because you can't make use of your hand to pass the thread, so you can make use of the tweezers. It make things more easy for us. Sewing tools you need to add to your collection is wonder clips. So these wonder clips are, it's more like clips, like Nigeria here we call them clips you used to hang your clothes alone. So not really the clothes clips, but they are tiny looking clips that you can use to clip together clothes and fabrics, probably thick fabrics or very soft and delicate fabrics. Just use it to hold them together instead of making use of pins. Like now, if you are sewing, or if you are working with a thick fabric, if you are working with thick fabrics, so sometimes our pins don't go through them. The cloth might be too heavy for pins to go through, so you can just like make use of your wonder clips. So it's actually used to hold layers of fabric together. So it's actually a great alternative for pins, especially when you are working with heavyweight fabrics. So get yourself wonder clips today. So the next tool we'll be talking about is wonder tape. So wonder tape is same thing as seam tape. This is actually used to temporarily hold your garments together so it does not shift while you sew. So this is like a bit similar to the wonder clips. So it's a bit similar to wonder clips. So now we are moving to the next sewing tools you'll be needing. So your disappearing pen or shock. So a lot of us tailors and fashion designers, we've actually been through this stage at one point in time. We've actually gone through this stage because I could remember then when I was learning as a newbie to fashion design, then we make use of this chalkboard on clothes, and it actually sticks to the clothes. Like it's not easy for you to like get rid of, even when you use water to like clean the surface of the fabric, it still leaves some stains and marks on it. So this is why you should get um disappearing pen or chalk. So this is used to make temporary markings on your fabric, such as your that, and it disappears as soon as you put it on it. So this disappearing chalk or pen, it clears it off, so it helps you not to have unwanted marks on your garments once they are finished. So get yourself a disappearing chalk or pen today. Thank you. So now the next sewing tool we are going to be talking about is an insulator. So this is a tool that is used to like seal it, which help create finished seam on your fabric. Like now with tailors, we are so used to ironing, so we can't actually do without ironing, because we need to like make our clothes very neat. So now this insulator, it actually presses the, so now if you are making a dress and you want it to lay very flat, so when you iron it, then you now apply the insulator on it. The insulator now locks the heat in on the fabric and makes it super flat. So this works hand in hand with an iron. So we are going to the next sewing tool you need. So now a needle threader. Everyone has actually gone through this. Everybody that sews has gone through this. So like the difficulty we have trying to pass thread into a needle, either your sewing machine needles or your normal hand sewing needles. Everybody has gone through that difficulty. Like even at times I be putting on my glasses like, guy, I need to look at I need to see this thing very well. So now to avoid all those drama and stress, just get yourself a needle threader. So if you have ever had trouble threading your needle for the first time, this is for you. It helps make it easier and smoother. So it's actually a tiny, more like a tiny pin that you can, a tiny instrument or tool that you can use to um that you can use to thread your needle. So we are moving on to the next tool. So this is a specialty fit. So specialty fits, what are specialty fits? So your sewing machine comes with a normal straight sewing footer. So specialty fit is basically a footer for your machine. The normal footer your machine comes with, our sewing machine comes with a straight sewing footer. So specialty fits are like probably a zigzag footer, a zip footer, weaving footer, embroidery design footer, different, like a gathers making footer. So now we struggle with trying to make our gathers, making a straight thread on our fabric, then dragging and dragging to form the gathers. So when you get like a gathering footer, you actually don't need to go through that stress of dragging the thread through the fabric, and sometimes the thread cuts off. So when you use a gathers footer, so what you do is to install it on your sewing machine. You remove the normal straight sewing footer you have on it, then install the gathering footer, and you start gathering straight. You don't even need to like start dragging any thread, just place your fabric on it, then the footer does the magic for you. So you can get one today to make sewing easy for you. So I have one I have the one for zippers. I use it once in a while, not all the time, because I've actually mastered how to make the perfect zipper. So now moving to the next one, your bias maker. So this is actually for those of us that makes our bias tape, that make our bias tape from fabric. So I actually make my bias tape from fabric too at times, but then I noticed that when I cut with my scissors to make that straight line, and then trying to use iron to press it down and all those stuff, it doesn't really come out as I want. So that's why you need to get a bias maker. So this bias maker creates bias from your own fabric easily. It helps to fold the fabric evenly and quickly, so you don't need to like go through the stress of trying to fold the fabric and getting that bias tape form. So when you get a bias maker, it folds it already, and this bias maker comes in different sizes. So you can actually decide and determine what size you want your bias to come in. So moving on to the next one, her sewing gog. So sewing gog, this is a small ruler used for measuring. So this is like this sewing gog is mostly used by pattern makers. Those of us that make use of pattern regularly, probably you draft pattern for sale and all that, and you need measurements to be accurate. You need to have accurate measurements. So this is a small ruler used for measuring ends, seams allowance, button placement, and other things more accurately. So guys, and it's a wrap up for this topic. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope it makes life easier. I hope it makes sewing life easier for you. Subscribe to my channel, and if you find this helpful, please comment helpful in the comment section, and don't